And today the title is Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. In our New Testament reading, we hear about two people that Jesus healed, a sick girl and a woman who was just brave enough to touch his cloak, and that was all she needed to do to become healed. Now, in the psalm writer talks about being fearfully and wonderfully made, and about how that's proof to the psalm writer of God's amazing power. And we're going to think about how we are fearfully and wonderfully made today with our journal. So we are going to make our own mirror. If you've got a craft kit, you'll need one of your pieces of brown paper, and in your small bits envelope you'll need your piece of mirror or silver card. Okay, now the first thing you will need to do, your brown piece of paper is currently the same size as your journal, so you just need to cut a little bit off like this. And obviously if you've not got a craft kit, you'll need to do the same. Cut your brown or grey piece of paper so it's just slightly smaller than the page. Then your next job is, if you haven't got a craft kit, to cut your mirror card or foil so it's slightly smaller, and we're on to step 2. So we are going to stick the brown paper onto the page of our book. Just check. I don't think I've got. Oh, I have got the right page, but I'm upside down. Okay. And we're going to stick the mirror on top, so the brown paper becomes like a frame. And on that frame, we are going to write that verse that I talked about at the beginning of this video. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So we just write it around the edge of our frame to remind us to think about this verse when we look in our mirrors this week. There. Verse comes from Psalm 139 and it's verse 14. So I'm going to write that at the bottom of my mirror to remind me, but you don't need to if you run out of space. Obviously, if you'd rather draw a pattern around the edge of your mirror, that's just fine. And then we've got another page. So we're going to make a self-portrait, or draw a self-portrait. So I'm writing at the top of my self-portrait, me fearfully and wonderfully by God. Now, obviously, I'm going to draw my self-portrait really quickly. You're going to have a little bit more time to do yours, so you might be able to make yours a little fancier, or a little bit more accurate maybe than I'm making mine. What do you think, Katie?
It's all right.
Like Batgirls at the moment. I think I drew them a bit too quickly, but there we go. Give myself a neck and some shoulders, because I'm going to draw myself in this dress. There we go. Give myself a smile, because that's really important. Nose and some eyebrows. And there you go, look at that. It's almost identical. What do you think? There you go. Some little pupils. I'll just draw my dress. Now obviously you'll have a bit more time, so you can think a little bit more carefully about how you're drawing yourself than I'm managing to here. I think I'm going to have to extend my shoulder, Caitlin. Look, whoops. There you go. There's one arm. And the other. There's one leg. And the other. I'll just colour in my dress. To remind me this week that I am fearfully and wonderfully made by God, and how amazing God is to be able to fearfully and wonderfully made me.